A couple of years ago, I had the privilege, along with Jackie and our daughter Abby, his son-in-law Manu, and his parents Dirk and Ruth Marie, going camping in the woods in Yosemite. Just an incredible place. No running water. We were filtering the water from the stream. No flushing toilets. We were just out in the wilds. Just amazing. At night, no light pollution. You could just see the trees above you and the stars above them, and a campfire burning, which is just beautiful in a like a metal container that you burn your fire in, and a metal box to keep all your food in, and toiletries so that the bears don't come and take it. One night we had a bear walk through the camp, which was quite something, and it's just a stunning place. I think it's one of my favourite places on the planet. And while we were there, we saw the effects of the California fires that had devastated the forest, and the effects of that were quite shocking in some ways. Just miles of burned trees, and you think it's a scene of devastation and destruction, and in many ways it is. But we visited a place called Mariposa Grove, and Mariposa Grove is where the huge sequoia trees are. And these trees grow from absolutely tiny seeds. The seeds fall in the pine cones, they hit the ground, the seeds scatter out. But there's so much canopy over the top, it's difficult for light to get through. And so in the cycle of nature, fire plays an important part. It sparks something in the seed, and it clears the canopy for the light to come in and for new growth to happen. And sometimes we live through times in life where we feel like it's like walking through a fire. It's like such a challenge and a difficult time, and yet I think that God works in those times. Even though it's painful and difficult in some ways, he seems to work in them to give us new light and make space and spark life back into us. These trees are stunning. They are massive. They live for hundreds of years, and some of them are as tall as the Statue of Liberty. They're just massive, but they don't have very deep roots. They grow in groves, and as they grow, these little seeds push their way through the undergrowth and the debris, and life starts to grow. But they grow in groves, and they interweave their roots. So they go reasonably deep, but they go very wide, and they interweave with one another, and so they stand together for hundreds of years over the long haul, growing and growing and growing and growing, because they're holding one another up. I think that's a real picture of what it means to follow Jesus, that as we do that, we don't do it on our own. Each one of us needs to come to him for ourselves, but then he places us in his family, in his church. And yeah, sometimes that's easy, sometimes that's difficult, sometimes we get on with people, sometimes we don't. But it's family, and we learn to interweave and help each other stand. And I don't know, maybe at the moment you've disconnected from God's people, from church, and you think that maybe God's saying to you, it's okay, you don't need to go to church. Well, you are church, you're part of church, and God will never say to you to do something that his Bible says not to do, or not to do something his Bible says to do. And he says, don't forsake the gathering of yourselves together. It's the habit of some, but bear one another on, spur one another on as you see the day approaching. So I'd encourage you, if it's been a hard time and it feels like you've been burned, let the seed find new life. And if it's a time of feeling the desire to pull apart, or you've been isolated, reconnect, interweave, so that your roots are intertwined with others, so that you can grow to the height and the stature that God has for you, because we can't do that alone. So have a great day, and continue to let God weave you together with others and work through the good times and the difficult times to help you to become all that he's inviting you to be. God bless you.